Hey guys, and welcome to another Spelunky Daily Challenge. I am Kira, and today we are doing the Spelunky Daily Challenge for January the 29th, 2014. Today I think I'll be using the yellow hardhat lady because I haven't used her in a good while, and I believe that today is going to be her time to shine. So this is actually going to be the first daily challenge I've done in a while since our Spelunky Daily Challenge versus match with the API Kaye Mr. Falcon and the Pensky file, from which, as expected, I emerged victorious. So for those of you that haven't seen that particular video yet, essentially in a typical daily challenge, you compete against other players to see who can get the highest score. And what myself, the Pensky file, and Yippee Mr. Falcon decided to do was, rather than going for score, which is kind of tedious and boring to watch with all the ghosting, was decide to see who could get the furthest before dying. In the event of a tie, we decided to break the tie using whoever had the lowest score. So essentially we would have to employ some form of gold run tactics and essentially just try to avoid gold. Let's go ahead and move on to the next level. Now the expected endpoint of the game, of course, is defeating Yama, and both myself and the Pensky file managed to make it to Hell and defeat King Yama. Now, fortunately for me, I had about, in the range of about, I think, 36k less gold than the Pensky file, so I emerged victorious. Now, the Pensky file had, mildly screwed up his strategy in the black market by forgetting to drop all of his money, and thereby, had a little bit higher of a score than he normally would have. Let's go ahead and kill the spider, and drop our torch into the lower areas. Let's go ahead and use this pod to set off the trap down there, as well as grab our dog. You're fine to go drop down, so I will come back for you in a second here. So I would like to imagine that if the Pensky file had been perhaps a little bit more careful with his gold pickups, as well as dropped all of his money in the black market, that it would have been a fairly close match. Now, Yippee Mr. Falcon, on the other hand, died fairly unceremoniously in the ice caves, and this man has some very nice items. Do I want to murder him? Potentially. Let's see, we got 10... I'll just buy them, I don't need to anger the shopkeeper just yet. So we'll go ahead and drop our torch down, go grab our dog. Mr. Yippee Mr. Falcon, on the other hand, died by stepping on the mine, and for whatever reason, forgot to step off the mine, leading to his immediate demise. And that tends to happen in Spelunky a fair bit. You stop focusing on the game for a brief moment in time. I think that's where the exit is, so we'll put the dog down here for a second. Hopefully he won't fall on spikes. There we go. And I haven't seen her Uja yet, which is troubling me a little bit. So let's just do a quick pop over to the other side of this level, just make sure. You take your eyes off this game for one moment, and then Spelunky does what Spelunky does best. It screws you over. So we'll just go ahead and kill this spider, grab our torch. I don't think there's anything left in this level to pick up, so let's just go ahead and leave. Carefully now avoid those spikes. Now at the beginning of the Spelunky versus video, I went over some of the generic strategies one might use for this kind of run. And what Mr. Falcon decided to do was go through the game, buying everything legitimately. I don't really need anything this man has, so let's just grab our torch. And he had successfully managed to make it through the black market without angering a single shopkeeper. Now, this essentially meant that he left the level and entered the ice caves with fairly low gold, but also meant that he would have been able to, one, drop any gold he might have accidentally picked up by spending it all in the any shops that he might have come across. There are a lot of scorpions here today, so just go ahead and just stomp on all of them. Pick up some extra gold too while we're at it. And he also would have been able to avoid any gold that the shopkeepers at the exits would have been dropping after, you murdered them in order just to make it through the exit. So I would like to imagine that if Mr. Falcon hadn't died the way they did, that it would have been a fairly close match. In all honesty, I might have actually lost that challenge if it hadn't been for his very poor death. So, using about maybe 20 years worth of luck later, I managed to emerge victorious, which is, great for me. I'm also using the word victorious a lot, which isn't particularly great from a commentary standpoint, but let's go ahead and blow that up. But this also means that I now get to make them do, as per our usual Spelunky versus agreement, make them do a minimum 3-episode LP of a game of my choosing. I'm going the wrong way. Now, in the last game I had them LP that was very poor key throwing on my part, but it's still fine and in one piece. Let's go ahead and set this off, I think. We can do that safely. Yep. Now, the last game I had them LP was Sesame Street Counting Cafe for the Sega Genesis, which the two of them very thoroughly enjoyed. Oh, troll bomb, troll bomb. Eesh, I haven't seen those in a good while. Let's go ahead and step on the snake. So, I've essentially been spending the last couple of... There's a jetpack. Okay, we're buying this from this man. I don't think we actually need to actually murder him, so we'll take this jetpack and the spiked shoes. Don't need anything else. So essentially over the last couple of days I've been, trying to decide what game to make them LP. And while the Sesame Street Counting Cafe does contain 6 whole days of playthrough, let's go ahead and throw our key down here, stop the arrow trap. And I was highly considering making both the Penske File and Mr. Falcon finish the last 3 days since they stopped at the 3rd day for both of their LPs. I think we've more or less had enough of that game, so I've been trying to decide what other game I could make them LP. So over the weekend, I actually visited one of my friends who I actually hadn't seen in a month, so we kind of just talked, played some games together. And one of the games I noticed in her Super Nintendo ROM library was Pocky and Rocky for the Super Nintendo. Do I want to buy this dog and sacrifice it? How much is it going to cost for the dog? No, I don't have enough. Maybe if I grab this ruby, it'll be enough. Yeah, it'll be enough, okay. I mean, I'm planning just to go ahead and murder everybody at the black market. So I don't mind dropping this much gold. So let's go ahead and sacrifice our dog. We got Catchesmith out of it, but we are one step closer to our Kapala, which is kind of the main point of sacrificing this early on in the game. Now, you actually can get a bomb box from Kali, but that only happens if and only if you have every single other possible item in the game. So you have to have everything. You have to have paste, you have to have the specs, all the shoes. I don't see the black market just yet. Well, I kind of want to check behind the shop too. I'm also realizing I don't have any paste, which could be an issue later on. Hopefully we'll be able to buy some at the black market, so let's go ahead and kill this monkey. Ugh, I'm very concerned that monkey was going to stun me into that plant. I don't see any UJ activity in this corner, so I'm assuming it's not here. I've lost my train of thought. So, one of the games that she had in her emulator library was Pocky and Rocky for the Super Nintendo. And essentially after me playing that game for about 10-20 minutes, I realized that this would be the game that I would have an LP. So, I am very much looking forward to the Penske File and Mr. Falcon's playthrough of Pocky and Rocky for the Super Nintendo. Is there anything worth... Oh, spider. I don't want a spider. Now, have you seen either Pro Jared's review of Pocky and Rocky or the Game Grumps, for sake of a different word, their Let's Play of Pocky and Rocky? You know that it is a deceptively difficult game. And this is a very obvious black market. Don't put me in the spikes, please. Thank you. Let's deal with this blue frog. I feel like he's going to give me grief, so let's go ahead and put a bomb down right there. Thankfully I didn't, anger the shopkeeper. I kind of want the dog, so I'm going to put up another bomb right here. So for anyone that has seen Pocky and Rocky, they know it's a deceptively difficult game. I guess I'll go down there and grab the bombs. I should have enough money for them, because why not? And there's also a giant frog here, so we can get some more money and potentially some spring shoes. Yeah, on second thought, maybe not. I will just go straight to the black market. I don't have to deal with that boomerang man. Okay, we need to go away from talking about things that happen in my life to let's kill the shopkeeper mode. So let's take a quick peek through the area, see if there's anything that's going to screw us over potentially. So we need to put a bomb down right here, bomb right here, and that should anger the shopkeeper. Both of them should fall. Now unfortunately I don't see any paste, which means that the remainder of the game is going to be a bit of an issue. Oh wait, never mind, I'm ding dong, there's paste right there. Okay, so that means we definitely need to clear up this bottom section before we can do anything else. So let's go ahead and drop a bomb right there. That should be enough to let them fall through. And we'll throw one more directly into the shop. Doesn't seem like they're dead yet. Nope, they are not dead. They're still alive and kicking. But if he falls through, then that is perfectly a-okay. There we go, there's a shotgun. Oh, there's another jetpack. We can do a let's break Spelunky run. We are doing a let's break Spelunky run. So let's go ahead and grab all this. I will grab the Ankh just in case. So he should be dead. And let's just go ahead and clear out the rest of the level before we come back and grab the jetpack. I'm excited for this. I haven't done this yet. So they're dead. All that's left are the ones in the below area. Okay, maybe not. Let's go around instead. These corpses are going to be a bit of an issue, that's fine. Oh, there are 3 jetpacks in here. Oh my goodness grief. So let's go ahead and bring that with us. I have dual jetpacks, this is great. I've been hoping to do this kind of run for a good while. Okay, where was I in our my talk about other things? So yeah, essentially I'm just basically looking forward to their eventual LPs of those games. I also downloaded a copy for myself to play, and yeah, it's fairly difficult. So, you know, also while I was at my friend's place, there was a, this man's angry. So let's pop down and just leave. There was a game that she wanted to play, and fortunately it was a game from my childhood, the World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Now the premise of that game is that, I'll pay for my crimes, the premise of that game is that while preparing for a magic show, is there another jetpack in there? No, but that would have been hilarious if there was. The premise of that game is that Mickey and Donald are preparing for a magic show. And would you please die? Or at least come out of your shop? I'm trying to tell a story here, and you're kind of messing that up. So while Mickey and Donald are preparing for a magic show, they come across a strange box in the backstage of the theater. And when Donald steps into it to investigate, he disappears. Mickey, also trying to figure out what happened to his friend and colleague, steps into the box and they both plunge into another world. In order to escape that world, they must find the master of the world and defeat him. So the game has you going through 5 different worlds where you must defeat a boss in order to progress through the story. Now, depending on which character you have, whether you're Mickey or whether you're Donald, the level layout will change. I kind of want this crate. So let's go ahead and put a bomb right there. Let's get out of the way. And we'll put our jetpack down for the time being. Alright, what's in the box? A web gun. I don't want a web gun. Now, typically how the layout of the levels work is that there will be a starting hub and a finishing hub that are the same for which character you are. But the middle world is always going to be different depending on whether you're Mickey or Donald or whether you're doing co-op. Oh, this Yeti man's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt. So let's go ahead and just throw a bomb at him. Hopefully his colleague will kill him along with it. Perfect. So just go ahead and leave him be. Okay, this is essentially a perfect hell run. So let's see, let's throw a bomb right here. And we'll drop down like that. Stick him with a bomb. And we have to deal with the other shopkeeper next. I think if I just make a big enough hole, he should fall down. Or he can just fall down on himself. That also works. Let's go ahead and pick up all these bombs. And let's get that out of here. There's not really much else we need to do. I guess I can grab this crate. So why not? Now, it's not falling the spikes. That would be nice. Alright, what's in the box? More bombs. Perfect. I'm gonna need lots of bombs in order to dig a big enough hole for Olmec. Now, while we were playing that game, she made the comment that it was a really good co-op game, using Sonic the Hedgehog as an example. Or I guess more specifically, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, because that's the one that has the co-op multiplayer ability. Multiplayer ability, I don't think that's a word, but in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, while you can play as 2 players, what essentially happens is that you can use Tails to kill enemies on the screen, but whenever Sonic dashes off into the distance, Tails always gets left behind. So he's now gone. I guess there's a vault here too. So let's just go ahead and rescue Monty. We'll just be on our way. I don't need to do much else in here. Yeah, there's a vault. I'm not really interested in ghosting that today. So let's throw him in there. We'll grab our jetpack and we'll get out of here. So essentially, the more that I thought about it, the more I realized just like, you know, how valid of a point that she made. So, in the co-op mode of this game, there are certain areas of the game that require you to actually cooperate with one another to progress through the story. For instance, in the second world of the game, you are required to traverse over a series of cliffs. And in order to make it above specific plateaus, you're required to stand on your partner's shoulder, jump onto the plateau, anger the shopkeeper, and then there are a lot of shops here today. Jeez. Is there anything in there that I want? No, not really. So let's just go ahead and leave. Oh my god. What was that? Let's just leave. There are UFOs raining down from the sky. I'm not happy with this. Alright, back to my train of thoughts. I'm trying to tell the story, but this Spelunky, he's getting in the way. Now, in another part of the... In World 1, there's this section where you're required to go on a pushcart. And it requires both players to press down on the D-pad in turn in order to get the cart to move forward. Scorpion needs to die. And there's Anubis, so we'll just go ahead and put down a bomb. Anubis, please. So we'll let those fizzle out for a second, and then I'll just kind of continue talking about the story. However, you kind of need to be cautious of where your partner is, because while you're on the carts, there are also going to be rocks flying from the ceiling. So if you're not careful, then you can inadvertently push the cart forward, causing a set of rocks to come down on your partner, taking away health from him. No, let's not drop that. I kind of need this. So let's go ahead and leave, I think. In other various parts of the levels, there are areas that require you to crawl under a series of blocks. Now, Mickey, being as small as he is able to traverse these blocks fairly easily. Donald, on the other hand, since he has a large tail, just go ahead and bomb this man. Since he has a fairly large tail, he tends to get stuck fairly easily. These guys are going to get angry. So let's just go ahead and leave. And it requires you to have Mickey traverse the area first, go to the other side, and then help Donald by pulling him through the hole. So the game is essentially built entirely around this whole co-op scenario. I'm just going to use my whip for this one and then stomp on it. as soon as he regains consciousness. Take my jetpack and leave. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that there really aren't a whole lot of games that use this concept. Let's just go ahead and anger him and leave as well. Now, having owned a Sega Genesis myself, I've played my own fair share of co-op games. You know, most of the multiplayer games from the Sega Genesis era involved shopkeepers. You know, were perhaps sports related or shopkeeper. Would you please stop being such an asshole? He's gonna die from the tiki trap, right? No? Yes? Maybe? So you kind of had your standard, sports games. You had your multiplayer beat 'em ups, where you scroll on the screen, beating up your opponents, trying to make it to the end. This man is angry. That's fine. He will set that off. I'm just gonna bomb myself and exit instead. Yeah, this is not a good scenario. Set that off and let's just leave. You know, I myself owned The Adventures of Batman and Robin growing up, and that also contained two-player co-op where you fight together in the streets of Gotham, beating up bad guys, fighting the bosses. But there aren't really a whole lot of games that specifically feature areas where you absolutely need to cooperate. So I'll just put some bombs down, I suppose. That should just be fine. And I have like 57 of them, so there's no reason not to. I'm gonna put this down for the time being. I don't want to accidentally crush it. That would be terrible. It would make me really, really sad. And, you know, like, even now, there aren't really a whole lot of games that are completely geared towards co-op. I mean, even, take for example, Spelunky. Now, while Spelunky, also does contain a co-op feature, I find that typically what ends up happening with Spelunky is that you're in the situation where one person is, exceptionally more skilled at this game than the other. Let's see, where do I want to have Omek fall? So, typically what ends up happening is that you have one person that's skilled, one person that is less skilled, and eventually someone dies and they drop all their worldly possessions. And then, while you can indeed respawn them on the next level, they get respawned without any bombs or ropes. Let's see, I think if I just put that right here, that should be enough. So I'm just gonna let that sit there for a bit. So we basically have to wait for a little while until that reaches the bottom. So I'm going to just go hang out at the top, I guess, just grab all the gems, improve my score a little bit. So when you end up in a situation like that, where you have one person with no resources and one person with all the resources, it really just ends up becoming more of an escort mission than anything else. Because without any resources, this game becomes ridiculously difficult. Especially in the later levels when you're in hell, or perhaps, just fighting Omek. Trying to defeat Omek without any kind of resources, without bombs or ropes, is incredibly difficult. Your partner essentially becomes dead weight, and there's no real sense of cooperation involved. It's really more of a matter of, hey, you have all this stuff, now just don't die. Your partner seriously just becomes a measure of insurance that if one player dies, they're able to become resurrected on the next level. And that's not really much, it doesn't feel like co-op at all. What else do I want to do here? By now the jetpack should have made it to the bottom. So let's go ahead and pick up our web gun, because that's a necessary item for this. And we'll go ahead and lure Omek over, I suppose. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought about, how well designed that game was for co-op. And I need to reset him a little bit. It's gonna work. It doesn't look like it. Okay, this is gonna work. Alright, so now we gotta wait for Omek to actually fall the entire way through now. I did hear something break, though. What broke? Well, we gotta wait then, by the looks of it. So I really can't think of any games that, you know, specifically require co-op. So now I can go ahead and just bomb all this out. Suck it! Omek versus the web gun. So let's just go ahead and actually drop him down. Why not? Not sure what I was trying to do there. Come on. See ya. So I've been told that if you die with the Ankh, you just get a black screen or something. So let's go ahead and try that out. Whee! I didn't even hit the ground. Okay, maybe that part got patched? I didn't even hit the ground. You saw that. I didn't even fall into the abyss. I just hit the wall and I just died. Okay. Okay, whatever. Let's just go ahead and leave. No, it's just a shame that you don't see that kind of co-op build in today's games anymore. I mean, there's competitive to multiplayer modes, and I don't know, you just don't see that kind of there's no games that are specifically built around that form of co-op where you actually have to cooperate with one another in order to complete the game. You'll be remembered as a hero. Yay! Let's go ahead and check my score. So yeah, today's really early on today. Actually, today would have been a really good hell run because I was teaming with resources. I had about 60 bombs by the time I got to Omek. So as long as you don't die after activating the Ankh, you would have been perfectly fine. And if I am able to perhaps pull this one, no. I want the. Okay, I guess I can't grab it then. Well, that's a shame. So, until next time, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day.